Hey, what's up, you amazing hackers? Hope you're all doing well today. So, let's say that you're hunting on a platform. Now, you've picked up your target. It took you a little bit longer than expected, but that's okay. Some of us are slower, some of us are faster. Just take your time, but you now have finally picked it up. Now, what's your plan? What's your attack plan going to be? Well, my friends, I'm going to give you a very simple overview of what your first steps should be. And now, this might all seem like, oh, it's simple. I'm gonna hack, but it's very counterintuitive. Don't get it wrong. By the way, congratulations, Kapitein, for your. This is awesome. Integrity does this, by the way. If you're on top of their leaderboard, they will make an awesome cartoon for you, like this, or this for Gangster Squad, or this for Peter, or this for Octopus. So get hunting, my friends. Why Integrity? Well, in my opinion, it is one of the best platforms that are out there. I might be a little bit biased because I was a very big, well, I loved hunting here and I still send all of my students here. But when you pick your program, it's important to know a few rules, to ignore a few rules. That's the first thing. But when you have it, let's say, for example, let's pick a simple one here that we can analyze a little bit. I think we should go with, where is it? Because there are certain ones that are good for beginners and there are certain ones that are not so good for beginners, in my opinion. Let's take hardware.info, right in the middle between VDP and very high paid. Very first thing you should do is start reading your description properly from the top to the bottom. Might contain useful information, who knows? Use your integrity email address, etc. But then you're going to come to your scope, and this is a very broad scope. So very first thing you need to do is find subdomains. How you find specific subdomains, I'm not going to explain in this video. We're going to dive much deeper into that in a upcoming video. But for now, let's just say that you have found your subdomain. What should you do? Well, the very first thing you should do is explore. Sounds very intuitive, right? I'm gonna explore. Well, my friends, I've seen many hackers time and time again who just start attacking. Oh, I see something. I need to throw every single attack parameter that is known to mankind at it. That's not how it works, because that's surely to trigger a filter. Very first thing is you should open Burp Suite. You should go to there, you should explore, you should click around, and you should fill up your sitemap. While you do that, and yes, I can show this to you as well. So we have Burp Suite open still, thank God. We are going to go to the proxy, we're going to do the proxy settings, and you scroll all the way down until you reach, where is it? Was it? There we go. Response modification rules. Here you click on hide hidden form fields, prominently highlight them, and you enable the disabled form fields. That's going to create a environment where if ever something's hidden, you're going to notice it because there's going to be a big red square around it. Also, I don't care about disabled form fields, input field length limits, JavaScript form validation. That's all front-end validation. I'm just going to remove it. Not all JavaScript because it might be useful for the website, but I will remove this from most forms. It helps me focus a lot more and drill down. Then I'm going to just click around. I'm going to open a browser. I'm going to click around and I'm going to see what parameters I can attack. You have parameters that might read, write to a database. Well, of course, that's a SQL injection. You might have a reflected value. Try something like HTML injection or other things, depending on where your reflection is taking place and what context. Make sure that you explore your application thoroughly. If you're doing broken access control, that you're actually testing your application with all user profiles and not just with one. If you're testing either, that you're testing every single endpoint. But click through your application, get to know it first, and then you have a much higher chance of finding something because you know what the expected behavior should be, or at least you have a very good idea of it. Also, same for documentation. If you can have it, read it, go through it. If it's API documentation and you know how to connect to APIs with that documentation and it is in scope, my lord, do that, because I can tell you that a lot of hackers, they are good, don't get me wrong, but they will do web only, for example. They'll start with web, they won't go into APIs, and then they even see an API that might be a bit harder to connect to. Well, take the trouble to do that. Might take weeks, might take months for a single target, but it doesn't matter. Who are you racing here? There's nobody who erase things, so stop throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Try doing it much more objectively, seeing what do I have in front of me, because after walking the application, I will walk through my sitemap and I will identify and try to explore every single parameter, what it does, if there's anything exploitable there. Maybe it's just a static parameter or a language parameter or whatever. There might be parameters that I'm not really interested in, but anything writing, reading to database, anything that might resolve a server address, anything that's going to give me some reflection, an identifier, a privileged endpoint. Those are all things that are interesting to me, but I'm not just going to randomly go and attack a target. I hope that helped a little bit, my friends. I hope that gave you some insight on how to approach a target, because it's not easy. Don't let anybody tell you bug bounties is easy, but that's the whole fun in it. It was just a quick video to give you some tips to get you started. Take your time, explore, and we will make more on that broad scope exploration and also on what exactly you can do when it comes to parameters, because I've gone over a few of them, but there's a lot of types of parameters that can occur in the wild. How do you explore them? What do you hack? What are you looking for? We'll answer all of these things in upcoming videos. Thank you very much for watching, my friend. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.